Nassim Nicholas Taleb's Skin in the Game is centered around the concept that genuine risk-taking and accountability are crucial for a well-functioning society. The phrase skin in the game refers to having a personal stake in the outcomes of your decisions or actions. It means that those making decisions should face the consequences, good or bad, of those decisions. If they succeed, they share in the rewards, but if they fail, they also share in the losses. This principle ensures that decisions are made with caution and responsibility. When decision makers don't have skin in the game, they can act recklessly, knowing they won't bear the negative consequences. A real-world example of this is the 2008 financial crisis. Top executives and bankers made high-risk decisions that led to the collapse of the global economy. Yet many of them walked away with their wealth intact, shielded by bailouts, while ordinary people lost their jobs, homes, and savings. Taleb begins by emphasizing that the presence of skin in the game is a marker of fairness and justice. He recounts examples from history and modern times, showing how those who bear the consequences of their decisions tend to make better, more ethical choices. For instance, the ancient practice where a bridge builder in the Roman Empire had to stand under the bridge as the scaffolding was removed ensured that the builder was personally invested in the quality of the bridge. Another historical example is the responsibility of medieval ship captains. These captains were required to stay aboard their ships until everyone else had disembarked during an emergency. This practice wasn't just about honor. It was about ensuring that the captain had a vested interest in the safety of the crew and passengers, ultimately leading to safer voyages. In more recent history, leaders like Winston Churchill and Mahatma Gandhi demonstrated skin in the game by sharing in the risks faced by their followers, which earned them immense respect and trust. One of Taleb's key insights is that asymmetries in risk, where one party takes risks and another bears the consequences, are deeply problematic. He illustrates this through the lens of finance, where those in powerful positions can make risky decisions that, if they go wrong, impact ordinary people far more than the decision-makers themselves. The financial crisis of 2008 is a prime example. Bankers and executives made decisions that led to the collapse of the global economy, but it was ordinary citizens who bore the brunt of the fallout, losing homes, jobs, and savings, while many of the decision-makers walked away with minimal personal loss. Another example is the pharmaceutical industry, where companies sometimes push drugs to market without fully understanding the long-term effects, shielded from liability by legal protections. In contrast, doctors who prescribe these medications or patients who take them often face the direct consequences if something goes wrong. Taleb also explores the role of skin in the game in religion, politics, and daily life. He points out that throughout history, religious and political leaders who had skin in the game, who shared the risks with their followers, were more respected and effective. For example, Jesus Christ, who endured suffering and crucifixion, exemplified ultimate skin in the game, earning him reverence and adherence from his followers. Similarly, Julius Caesar leading his troops across the Rubicon demonstrated his willingness to share the risks of battle, which bolstered his leadership and loyalty among his soldiers. Conversely, leaders who insulated themselves from a risk often led their followers to ruin, as seen in the case of King Louis XVI of France, whose detachment from the suffering of his people contributed to the French Revolution and his eventual execution. Taleb also touches on the dangers of those who avoid having skin in the game by shifting the risk onto others. He criticizes the rise of what he calls the intellectual yet idiot, a class of people who make decisions and advise others without ever experiencing the consequences of those decisions. These individuals, often found in academia, government, and consulting, can wield significant influence but are disconnected from the real-world effects of their ideas. Taleb argues that this detachment leads to poor decision-making and policies that fail to address the actual problems they are meant to solve. For instance, policymakers during the Iraq War who advocated for the invasion had no personal involvement in the conflict, resulting in long-lasting consequences for soldiers and civilians, while the policymakers themselves faced little to no fallout. Another example is the architects of the European Union's monetary policy, who pushed austerity measures onto struggling economies without feeling the personal impact of these policies. Another important concept Taleb introduces is the idea of minority rule. He explains that a small, intransigent minority with skin in the game can impose its preferences on a larger, more flexible majority. This phenomenon can be seen in various aspects of society, from dietary laws to corporate policies. For example, a small group of people with strict dietary requirements can influence a company to change its entire menu, simply because they are unwavering in their demands. This is because the cost of accommodating the minority is often less than the cost of losing them as customers, which shows how skin in the game can influence decision-making, even when the group with skin in the game is a minority. In personal life, Taleb suggests that individuals should seek out situations where they have skin in the game. He argues that this approach leads to more meaningful and rewarding experiences. For instance, in relationships, having skin in the game means being vulnerable and fully invested. This could involve making sacrifices or taking risks for the sake of the relationship, knowing that you have something significant to lose if it fails. An example might be moving to a new city for a partner, a decision that involves both risk and reward. In careers, having skin in the game might mean pursuing a path where your success is directly tied to your efforts, such as entrepreneurship, where your livelihood depends on the success of your business. Taleb contrasts this with a salaried position, where you might be insulated from the direct consequences of your actions. For example, an entrepreneur investing their own savings into a startup is more likely to work diligently and make prudent decisions compared to an employee managing a department within a large corporation where personal stakes are minimal. In personal goals, applying the skin in the game concept could involve setting stakes for yourself, such as making a public commitment to run a marathon or promising to donate to a cause you dislike if you fail to meet a goal. These stakes create a personal investment in the outcome, increasing your likelihood of success. Finally, Taleb discusses the ethical implications of skin in the game. He argues that fairness and justice cannot exist without it. When people make decisions that affect others, they must have something to lose if those decisions go wrong. This is not just about ensuring better outcomes. It's about upholding the moral principle that those who benefit from a system should also bear its risks. Taleb's book is a call to action for individuals and society to embrace the concept of skin in the game as a foundation for ethical behavior, effective decision-making, and a just society. In conclusion, Nassim Nicholas Taleb's Skin in the Game is a powerful exploration of risk, accountability, and ethics. By examining how skin in the game operates across various domains, Taleb makes a compelling case for why it is essential for a fair and functioning society. The book challenges readers to think about their own lives and decisions in terms of personal risk and accountability, urging them to seek out situations where they have something at stake, not just for their benefit but for the greater good of society. Taleb's insights are not just theoretical. They are practical guidelines for living a more responsible, ethical, and meaningful life. If you enjoyed this audiobook, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more engaging book summaries and insightful content. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below to let us know which book you'd like us to explore next, and we'll consider it for our upcoming episodes. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to bringing you more valuable content right here on Page by Page.